Welcome to this tutorial of Origami Design. In this tutorial we're going to give a basic overview of the features and workflow for Origami Design, the design tool that is part of the Origami Engine iPad publishing suite. So to start, the application works on Macintosh under OS X 10.7 and newer. We're going to create a new document here. The application will create a OEP package, an Origami Engine package, to be used within the Origami Engine publishing system. The design tool is made to be able to create from absolutely nothing to a finished, fully interactive package that can be previewed on the iPad using Origami View. So you'll be able to see all of the functionality as it would appear in the iTunes Store in the exact same context. So you have the option of having a portrait or landscape or both orientations, and you can publish to all the iPad devices, or you can choose to publish only to Retina or only to iPad 1, 2, and Mini. So here we're going to open this. The application is a standalone native application. The basic interface is very simple. At the top you have a toolbar. On the left hand side you have the basic document manipulation, where you can go between languages, go between orientation, preview the document that you're making, add pages, apply templates, and add different objects. So we're going to add a page to start with. These are the objects that you can add to a page. An image framation, which is frame-based animation. A video object, an audio object. An anchor, which is an element that you add to the page that forces that position to snap to the edge of the iPad. This allows you to create a sort of page to page to page jumping behavior on the iPad. Scrollable box, an overlay, which is a container to hold several different types, any of these above objects, and a hotspot, which is a touchable area on the stage where you can attach triggers to it. So here we have the stage. The stage starts with a page on it, and the page is blank. So we're going to give the page a background color, white. Here at the bottom you have your overview, where you can see multiple pages. So as you add pages to the document, you'll see them here. So again, we are going to add a background to this page. We'll add a background to this page. This page. We'll add a background to the last page. You add objects to the page. So for example, here we have an image. We're going to add a text object to the page here. So it comes up with a bounding box. Here's all of your text. You can double click it, select it. This tool is a design tool. It's a tool made specifically for graphic and interactive designers to be able to create publications and other types of interactive elements for the iPad using touch technology and being able to build interactivity based on a designer's goals. So there are no predefined templates or preset structures that you have in the system. You can build everything from scratch. You can make the interaction and the interface and the entire experience whatever it is you want it to be as the designer. So the primary interactive characteristics are based on triggers. So what a trigger is, a trigger contains two elements. It contains an event and it contains an action. So an event, for example, if I add a trigger to the stage here now, this is a trigger or a hotspot. This is a touchable area that we will then add a event to. So over here in the inspector, where you edit all of your different objects, you can choose different types of events. In this case, since it's a element on the screen, you can have on tap start, on start and end, on screen enter, and on screen exit. So we'll set on tap. Then you have a series of different objects that you can target. So every trigger has to target some type of object. So the trigger has to affect something. So if I go out here and I add an image, if I load this image in, so here's my image. Then my image has a name. It's called image 1. So I can go here to my trigger and I can go to image 1. Once I've targeted image 1, I have a new set of actions that I can apply to it. Every type of object has a different set of actions. So for example, an image, you can show it, you can hide it, you can do several things to it. A video, you can play, you can pause, you can stop, you can reset. An animation, you can fast forward, rewind, play forward, play backwards, play in a loop. Audio, you can play and stop. A scrollable box, you can jump to a point in the scrollable box, you can animate the scrollable box, you can do several different behaviors like this. So we're just going to toggle the visibility of this object. Then we can set a delay if we want to, or we can set a fade if we want to. So the fade is set now, so now the image, when we hide it and show it, it will fade in and it will fade out. So that's the basic model behind interactivity in the page. Pages can be pretty much as long as you want. In this case, this is the standard size of a landscape style page, so it's 1024 by 768, but we can do it up to 20,000 pixels. So right now I'm going to set it to 10,000 pixels. So you just scroll down and scroll up. So you lay out and design the page in a purely visual manner. Here. As you can see over here, we have orientation. So this is the landscape orientation. To switch orientation, we change it here. So now we're in portrait orientation. So when you export a document like this, then when you rotate your iPad, you will go between landscape and portrait layouts. It shares assets between the two different sets of layouts, and it will share text. So this way you'll be able to minimize the amount, the file size for the assets you use in your document. So here I'm going to go back to a click out of the page and I get to the document overview here. Click back to landscape. Here you can turn on and off different gestures for the navigation, and you can add additional languages. Natively, Origami Design, Origami Engine supports 16 languages, including all the European languages, Cyrillic language, Korean, Thai, Japanese, Chinese, Arabic, and Urdu. Supports vertical and horizontal type layout. And it natively supports Retina resolution assets as well as iPad 1 and 2 assets. The way that the Retina support works is that when you're designing at the iPad 1 and 2 size, physical size, but the assets that you're using are Retina resolution assets. When you export, then Origami Design will automatically reduce the size of the assets in export. So you're only creating one set of assets for Retina, and the rest is automatically generated. You're not creating two sets of graphics, one for iPad 1 and 2 and one for Retina. Over here on the left hand side, this is the dock where all the controls exist. At the bottom you have objects. So here you see we've added an image, we've added a trigger on a hotspot, and you can list and look through all of these. So here's the image, so you can see the image information here. Here is the hotspot, so you get the information about the hotspot up here, and here's the actual trigger on that hotspot. So all of this is both filterable and accessible. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to open a existing page that is that has been used in a magazine, and this page has been completely created using Origami Design. So here's the single page. You can see the graphics. Here are the different layers on the page. Basically the page is divided into two scrollable boxes, top and bottom. And you can see we have a special view option that is called one-to-one iPad, where this reduces the size of the visible image to reproduce what it looks like on the iPad. The iPad pixel sizes are a bit smaller than screen pixel sizes, so everything you design on the screen will actually appear a little bit smaller on the iPad. So this gives you a preview of what it will actually look like. This is very beneficial when you're setting type in order to make sure the type is big enough, readable and legible. So now that we're at iPad view, now we can go between orientations. So here now we're looking at the portrait version of this page, and we can go back to the landscape version of the page. And in the same way we do that, we can actually go between languages. So here, this page has been designed in English, Norwegian, and Japanese. So we can flip between English and Japanese. And here you see the Japanese version of the page. So it uses all the exact same assets, just like it does with the orientation, so that way the only thing that's changing on this page is the text. So we can go back to portrait and back to English, and then we can double click on this scrollable box to go inside of it, and here you can see all the different elements that are inside of it, all the different images. These elements on the left hand side, on the right hand side, are anchors. They snap to the top or the side of the iPad, so it gives this jumping effect. This is actual text. The Origami engine supports live text and font embedding directly into the exported packages, so you can use any typography, any type that you want, any fonts that you want. The benefit of this, in addition to the design benefits, it makes for an extremely small file size because you're not taking your type and turning it into a graphic, but it also allows all of the type, all of the text in your exported documents to be searchable on the iPad. So here we'll go out of that and we'll switch back into landscape. And we'll scroll down here and open up the next one. Here you can see this is also text that has a transparency on it. We have all the basic graphic design tools you need. Transform, type, guides, rulers, grids, templates, everything that you need to create a complete production workflow for an iPad-based publication or editorial product. So I hope this gave a quick basic overview of Origami Design and what the capabilities of it are. In other screencasts we'll be going into more detail regarding interactivity, the use of triggers, and more complex aspects of the features. Thank you very much. For more information and more details about the functionality, you can go to support.origamiengine.com.